The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood inside of Howell Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville basketball team. We'll recap this past week's District 2 3A tournament and preview this week's Region 1 3A tournament up ahead starting on Saturday. But first, as always, we need to get a message in first. We'll be right back after this quick message here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Pizza Inn, and by First Horizon Bank. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood inside of Howell Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Greeneville's head coach, Brad Woolsey. Coach, how's it going?
It's good. Good to see you, Tyler. How are you?
Good to see you, too, here at the end of the week now. We spoke about it right before we started the recording. It's always a different week because you start off the week so hot with a district championship game, and then you take so many days off before you start your region tournament. But you've had that downtime. We're going into the Region 1 3A tournament this week. We'll jump right into that. How are you feeling now?
No, it's good. You know, this week is a little different. You have 3 days that you can use for prep, but our history, we've always kind of taken Wednesday off because if you make a run, you're going to have a lot of days stacked up. So we try to give the kids some rest on Wednesday and then come in and get 2 good days of practice. And, we're excited about the opportunity to be playing at home on Saturday night.
Yeah, and let's go back to Tuesday night also. You play for another district championship. Came up just short, though, but forced overtime in such a heavyweight battle with Volunteer. Take me through that game from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, we started off, I think, okay. We knew that it was going to be just a fight back and forth. And, really we wanted to be physical in the right way. We don't ever want to be we want to respect the game with how we play, so we don't ever want to do anything that would not respect the game or respect our opponents. And but we wanted to be really physical in the right way, and overall we really were, which that was a good thing. And there were some runs there. I think we got up by 8 there in the second quarter, and Volunteer went on a run that, there's something that usually fuels runs. And, what can fuel a run are tough shots and turnovers, and that's kind of what fueled their run there at the end of the first half and allowed them to get up by 1, going into the second half. But, our guys are playing hard. I felt like they're emotionally, and I was just so proud of how they just conducted themselves, how they held themselves together. Just super proud of a lot of those guys that have just shown so much growth. And, that growth not only helps them individually, but also just like as a team, man, it has been awesome to see. We get in the second half, and it's back and forth. I know Johnny Painter, I think, counted up the number of
lead
ties.
changes and ties. Yeah, it was astronomical.
Yeah, it was a bunch. But as you look at things down the stretch, I think we were up 4, maybe with just maybe 3 minutes to play. And, really kind of had a chance to maybe put some distance there. And, I will never, just have a big problem with kids wanting to make plays, and kids want to make plays. But, we took a couple of gambles. We were a little bit late getting back in transition D and gave them some layup. I think they had 3 layups basically in a row, just because of some of those things. And then when you look at the second half, honestly, I felt like our defense was okay for most of the game. It was our offense was really what's struggling, and it wasn't about finding good shots. It was just about stuff going down. I mean, there was stuff that at the rim that 60% of the time is going to go in, and we just couldn't get it to fall. And I think at the end of the day, when you kind of look at what we kind of could have done a little better, some of it's there's going to be those sections of defensive letdown, but then just offensively, we didn't make baskets, and some of that's not It just happens, But you got to be able to fight through that. You can't ever just come into a game. Oh, we didn't shoot it well. That's just what happened. Well, if you don't shoot it well, you got to find a way to get it done some other method. And so, but I could not say more about our kids and just how proud I am of them and their fight and their effort. It has been awesome to see what they do, how they've done it, how they've grown. So yeah.
And to get to Tuesday's championship game, you had to pick up a win on Saturday down there against, was it Saturday?
It was Friday.
It was Friday, that is right. Friday against Cherokee in the semifinal matchup. And our own Matthew Palazzo did some bracketology, as he calls it. I think you were the only 4 seed to win that day out of districts, I think 1 through 8. Or I'm sorry, I think in District 1 throughout all classifications. So you pick up that win to get to the championship game on Saturday. How good of a win was that?
No, it was great. Any win's a good win, but again, it was against a team that has some great shooters, some great playmakers, and our guys did a good job of, 1, just staying in front of them, number 2, making sure we got to the basketball, and then we rebounded the basketball pretty well and made enough plays on offense. I think in both games, both the Cherokee and the Volunteer game, I think Zai had 24, and just as a freshman to come into the district tournament and score 24 in back-to-back games is really impressive. And one thing I didn't mention about the Volunteer game was Taryn Clarity's stat line, which I didn't realize even until yesterday, but he had 13 points, 11 rebounds, 6 deflections, I think it was 4 steals, 2 blocks, and 6 assists. I mean, the guy he absolutely stacked the stat line. And so those 2 guys had a really, really good, had a good run in the tournament. Braylon Kittle, man, he was making plays. It was just lots of guys. Willie did a great job defensively on number 11 Jones on Tuesday night. But man, we had just different guys at different times just step up to make big plays, and also not just make big plays, but just make little plays, because like big plays don't matter if you don't have people that are willing to make little plays and do little things. Who cares about big plays? Because a big play it's not going to make a difference because you're probably already down. And so, but man, we just had so many guys do so many good things, and really proud of them. I
found it. Greeneville was the lone 4 seed to make the championship game between all girls and boys teams in District 1 and 2, Class 1A through 4A. Also the only boys team from Class 3A, 16 districts to make the championship game. So it's pretty impressive. Did that win feel any better knowing that you went on a losing streak there at the end of the season, dropped back to the 4 seed, and pulled off the upset over the 1 seed in that semis?
Yeah, it felt good, and I think everybody knew our conference was pretty even. You can look at how that whole thing shook out, and you really knew that anybody could win. But definitely, coming off a few games where, we had losses that I don't think me or the team felt like we should have given up. It was good to get back in the win column, and and I think coming back against Volunteer, played pretty well. Just ended up a little bit on the wrong side of the scoreboard there.
Hey, the good news is this season's still alive, though.
That's right.
Going into the Region 1 3A tournament this week, you've got Crockett this week. Coming up on Saturday inside of Howe Henry Gymnasium. So before we get to the second half, if you've got the opportunity on Saturday night to go out to Howe Henry Gymnasium tomorrow, make it out 7 p.m. The Green Devils host the Pioneers in the quarterfinals of the Region 1 3A tournament. Hey, if you got the opportunity, go tonight to watch the girls play. But we'll talk about that a little bit in the second half, so join us and we'll talk about Crockett here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all. Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greeneville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
we all ate at Pizza Inn.
For over 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch, because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommy's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect: games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greeneville, expect the unexpected: low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at GatewayNissanGreeneville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greeneville.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza and Brad Woolsey Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood inside of Howe Henry Gymnasium with the Greeneville Green Devils basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Green Devils head coach Brad Woolsey. Back in Howe Henry this Saturday night. Quarterfinals of the Region 1 3A tournament. You've got Crockett ahead of you. Tell me what you expect when we tip off on Saturday night.
You know, Crockett's a good basketball team. They ended up second, I think, in their district. Ended up third in the district tournament. Got a 22-8 record, or actually, I think it may be 23-9 at this point. But they're a team that is really, really good offensively in terms of getting what they want. Most possessions are going to end up where they want it to end, and getting the look that they want to get. And so, you know, you gotta. They're going to run a bunch of sets. Coach Tarleton runs a ton of sets, and so you just gotta play by your principles, make reads, and that's what we'll do.
And of course, with it being a quarterfinals game, these are the type of games where it becomes win or go home. So you get an elimination game here. If you win, you move into Tuesday, where you face another elimination game to earn the region championship and a sectional berth. So when you get down to these two games, I asked this question last week about excitement and nerves. Do you get a little bit more excited and nervous when you get to the region tournament, knowing that the first two rounds are elimination scenarios?
Yeah, usually it does, and usually, just for me personally, I'm a lot more uptight and just usually really grumpy right now. But I don't know what it is. I think part of it is just our kids have just the way they've responded time and time again has it brings me a lot of joy, and then B, just gives me confidence in them, and it's not that, you know, I don't know what the difference is. I know that last night, you know, usually at supper, you know, my wife, you know, you get to this time of year, and my wife's like, what's going on? You know, are you going to talk to us at supper? But man, it was just, we had a great supper together, and you know, we're just, I guess I'm just more excited, more than usual. And I think I told the kids this even earlier in the week in the district. I was like, I'm probably about as excited about this deal as I've ever been. And man, I'm excited about Saturday night. You know, it's going to be really, really tough because they do a really, really good job just playing their game, and they're a quality opponent, and so it'll be one of the toughest. It'll be one of the toughest first round games that we have had in years. But man, I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and it's weird. I don't know how to explain it this year, but I'm just excited.
Rarely do I ever have this conversation and you pair these two words together, but I like to ask this question with Coach Spradlin every now and then. You often not hear Greeneville and underdogs together in the same sentence. You could say that looking at records, like you mentioned, Crockett having 23 wins, Greeneville still in the single digits, them being a 2 seed in their district, Greeneville being a 4 seed in their district. Even though you look at the region matchup, it's a 2v3, you look at everything else and it would favor Crockett in that matchup. So this is one of the few rare times where you will go into the postseason labeled as an underdog. Do you take any extra motivation in that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just treat every game the same, and you know, ultimately, you just have to know who you are. You know, regardless of who you're playing, you have to know who you are. And if you know who you are, then you're gonna be okay. And so, underdog, overdog, whatever. And if you're not the underdog, I don't know what you are. You the
favorite, I guess.
Dog. I know, but I figured we could use some dog word, but I guess we can't. Overdog, dog.
Just a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, just dogs. Anyway, man, you gotta know who you are. And you're right, man. You look at records and stuff, and I think it's on paper we're definitely underdogs. On paper, but really it's about what's in your heart ultimately, and what's in your mind. And I don't know that we just look at ourselves as underdogs. We're just going to be a team that goes out there, gives it all we got. We're going to be emotionally balanced. We're going to take care of what we can take care of. We're going to control what we can control. And if we do that, then we're going to give ourselves a chance to get a win. But again, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take just maximum effort from our guys. It's going to take a great our fans. It's going to take a good environment. That's not absolutely required, but it would be great to just have a great environment there in Hal Henard, and then you just go play.
And I think you could be labeled the underdogs for pretty much the rest of the season, looking at the teams you'll have to play, because I've said this in every interview this week. You get back to this time in regions, you've got 64 teams left. It'll dwindle down round by round. Anybody and everybody can win, and anybody and everybody is good up to this stage.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you're just playing this thing out on paper, then yeah, we're probably going to be the underdog at every stage in the way. But again, what we're worried about is just we know who we are, and that's the deal. If you know who you are, then things going to be okay. And whether we're over or under, we don't care. We're just grateful that we're going to get to play, and we're going to get in, and we're going to get after it, and just be the best version try to be the best version of ourselves individually, try to be the best version of ourselves corporately, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
Hey, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Hal Henard Gymnasium, Greeneville will host Crockett in the first round of the Region 1 3A tournament. So if you have the opportunity, get out on Saturday night, watch some Green Devil basketball. But Coach, unless there's anything else you've got to add, I think that's all I've got.
That's got it.
All right, let's talk about a win next week.
All right, sounds good.
2 wins maybe, because if you win this one, you'll play Tuesday, and we probably won't get in before then. So let's see if we can get a stack a couple wins up to next week.
I hope we do.
Absolutely, but that's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pete and Brad Woolsey Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.